So this past weekend, we finally got our first look at the new Model 3 Performance, or Ludicrous, or Plaid, whatever it's going to be called, which means sadly my current performance is not long for this world. So I figured, why don't we take this time to figure out if all the stuff I've been doing to preserve my battery and prevent degradation has been working, as the car is approaching 2 years and 20,000 miles. Oh, and I'm going to be discussing all those things that I do to preserve battery health and prevent degradation toward the end of the video. So if you like the results of my battery health test, well then you can do them too. So first things first, let's go ahead and get plugged in. Okay, so in the car now, and you all probably know how this works. First, let's go ahead and let's stop charging. And let's turn off scheduled charging, and let's put the charging limit to 100%. Oh, and if it looks like that the screen is facing me, that's because it is. I have it on this rotating screen mount, so you can go left, right. You can also go up and down. I've said it once and I'll say it again. I think that this is one of the best modifications that you can do for your 3 or Y. I'll have it linked down below, and don't forget that you can use code YouTube, all caps, for 10% off of anything at Test Stuff, whether that be this rotating screen mount, the cup holder inserts, the floor mats, whatever it is. If you go here, you'll actually be able to see that the limit, because I have it set to 100%, shows 306. Now this is your rated range, and normally this, like, you just don't go off of this because this is what Tesla thinks you should get in perfect conditions, and of course you're never going to be driving in perfect conditions. So if you're ever wondering like why you shouldn't use miles, that's why. I've discussed it in previous videos. But you know, if it shows 50% battery, then you know that's an actual like real number that has some legitimacy to it, because you're actually at 50 or around 50% of, you know, your battery. Or 129 miles, I'm not actually going to get 129 miles unless I'm driving at my rated range or my rated consumption, which actually right now I am doing pretty good. But I just wanted to kind of show that, because that right there is what it's telling me. And if that's true, then that's like a sub 3% degradation with almost, and let me just go ahead and show you all here, 17,000 miles. So almost 18. We're kind of getting up there to the 20. And just to show you all my lifetime right there. So 5,000, a little over 5,000 kilowatt hours consumed at an average rating of 285. And this car has seen more winters than summers. So that also kind of affects it. It looks like we also got a software update as well. Hopefully that's the one that enables wideband support. Now, speaking of softwares, I actually did just recently get a software update that should have affected your estimated battery range. Now incorporates additional characteristics related to battery aging over time. So that should mean that this should be a little bit more accurate in terms of like the max rated range. So I guess we'll see. But nonetheless though, you're going to want to go down to software, press and hold, and then you just type in service. And then of course it says this service mode should only be enabled by, I'll let you read that. And then there we go. We are now in service mode. So going on into high voltage system, as you can see here, it says that we are charged up to 42.4%. We have the heat pump and everything because this is a 2022. It was purchased brand new, and this is the original battery. As you can see here, if we hit health test, first up, it says make sure you have the key card. So you are going to need the key card. I got mine right here. Make sure you're in park. We are in park. And then you need to hold the right turn signal in the active position, plus press down on the brake for 8 seconds. So it's doing it right there, as you can see. There we go. So now gateway is unlocked. It will be locked again in an hour and a half. So if we hit health test, this is everything you need to know about the health test. So first up, pumps, fans, and drive units may start making noise to produce/reject heat during the discharge phase of the routine. So if you do have some juice in your battery, which I do here, then it will need to get rid of that. And how it does that is it actually, you know, gets the motors going to burn battery. Now, normally if you're driving, that can be used to warm up the battery, but here it's just going to be discharged as excess just to get that battery down. So next up it says this routine either starts a new high voltage battery state of health SOH test or returns detailed results of the last requested SOH test. Important notes: ensure the vehicle is plugged into at least a 6 kilowatt AC charger and the SOC max isn't over 50%. So we're under 50%, we're at 42. And the 6 kilowatt is actually a big one. So I have a 7 kilowatt, 8 kilowatt, which is why I never did this back when I first, because I believe this became available around the time this car had 4,000 to 5,000 miles on it. And that's just because back then I charged off of a 110. So if you charge off of a 110, then you can't do this. Or you might be able to do it, but it doesn't recommend it. Ensure summon, Sentry mode, cabin overheat protection, automatic preconditioning are disabled. So all that will be, turned off. This test will take up to 24 hours. Now, I've heard that depends on the current state of your battery and everything. And it says, do not interact with the vehicle or the test may abort. And now we're gonna press start. My camera's actually about to die, so let's hit run. And there we go. I just heard my contactors click. So as you can see, and you can hear that, if I just hop out of the car real quick, yeah, that's really, really loud. So I'm just gonna let this do its thing, and I'll check back in probably a few hours just to see how far it's taken the battery down to. And then from there, we'll check back in once it's done to see what we're working with in terms of battery health and degradation after almost 20,000 miles. So it's now about 2 hours later and we are down to 20%. So about 10% an hour. The battery heater is still on. The car is still going at full throttle, exhausting all that heat and just burning juice. It is, still very, very loud. I can hear it even multiple rooms away while it's in my garage. I actually just went out there in my garage and it's the middle of the night, the sun's not out, and it's about 80 degrees in my garage and it's 64 outside and it's raining. So it's now the next day at roughly about 4:30 in the afternoon. So I started this at 12:30 a.m. last night. I was a little bit over 40%. It took roughly about 3.5 to 4 hours to fully drain out the battery, and then it started charging. It did not take the battery all the way to 0%. It actually took it to around 6% and started charging. Here are the full stats via Teslafy. You can see there the efficiency and all that. Roughly about a 10-hour charge. Now, this did reach 99% about an hour and a half ago, and it sat there for roughly about 50 to 55 minutes. And I got the charge complete. It's at 100%. About 30 minutes ago. But now, for the moment that you've been waiting for, 94% battery health, which means that we have according to this, a degradation of about 6%. And if we go up here to the rated range, 306. So pretty much exactly what the car estimated last night. Now, some of you may be sitting there thinking that, wait, this car comes with 315 miles. 315 to 306 is not 6%. In fact, that's less than 3%. However, what I found to be a little bit more interesting is the fact that this car is currently on 18-inch wheels to the exact spec of the Aero wheels without the caps. And the long range prior to the updated Model 3 had an estimated range without the Aero caps of about 325 to 330. So if you take 325 to 330, you minus 6%, well, now you're at what the rated range is telling us, about 306 miles. I've always said that if you get a performance and you just slap smaller wheels on it, then you pretty much just have a faster long range.
Now, I'm going to be redoing this test this weekend to see if I get the same results. So make sure you check the comment section, as that's where I'll post if it's the same results or not. Secondly, assuming I still have the car by this time, I plan to rerun the test again once I've swapped to my 20-inch original wheels. Like I mentioned, I think the car's rated range may be getting skewed because it's calculating with 18-inch wheels. So is my 6% degradation good? Yes, very much so. Battery degradation is not linear. You'll see a 5 to 10% loss within the first 1 to 2 years or 10 to 20,000 miles. Then it plateaus, averaging
around 1% per year or 10,000-ish miles. So I am very much on the lower end of that. About 3% per year for my first 2 years. And going off my battery report via Teslafy, I've already hit that plateau and the slow degradation has begun. Speaking of Teslafy, looking at my battery report, I am ahead of the fleet, or other similar Teslas, by roughly 3 to 4%. Now, in terms of charging, roughly 80% has been AC or home charging, while the other 20% has been DC or supercharging, which I would say all around is pretty typical. Now, what have I done to achieve just 6% degradation, according to the battery test, or 3% according to Teslafy? Well, to be entirely honest, nothing crazy. I am very much a drive hard and plug in type of owner. For what I charge to daily, 50%. And this isn't because the 30 to 60% range is the best in terms of battery stress. I just don't need it any higher for my daily use. I used to charge to around 70% back when I charged off of a 110 outlet, but I switched to what I have now, a NEMA 1450 and the Gen 2 mobile connector with the 1450 adapter over a year ago. Now, unless you have an LFP battery Tesla, I'd recommend your daily charging limit be anywhere between 50 to 80%. Just find whatever percent gets you back from your daily commute with around 20% and go with that. Now, another thing I do recommend, and even see Tesla recommending, is leave the car plugged in even when it's finished charging. This does a lot of things, but the most important is it helps with the BMS, which directly affects your battery reading. Also, I tend to stay away from very high and or very low states of charge. Unless, of course, I'm road tripping, that is. Then I will gladly take it north of 95% if the navigation calls for it, or even as low as sub 5% if I can stretch it to a supercharger. I don't see a problem with this, as it's not like that the car is getting to these SOCs and then just sitting. But yeah, let me know your Tesla's degradation down in the comment section, whether that's from a battery health test like we did in this video, or from you just comparing your current max rated range to the max rated range when you first got the car. Now, if you are new around here and you want to see more Tesla related stuff in your YouTube feed, then feel free to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to drop a like so I know to make more videos like this. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace.